Hey, church family. It's Pastor Bruce here, lead pastor of Antrim BIC Church. And I want to welcome you to our midweek recap. If you haven't seen this past Sunday sermon, you want to go back and watch that. We're going to recap a little bit here of what we talked about Sunday. But if you haven't watched it, it's not going to make a whole lot of sense. So go ahead back, watch that, and then you can come back here for our midweek recap. This past Sunday, we finished our equipping series. It was the last sermon in this series. We've been talking for weeks, going through the passages on spiritual giftings like Ephesians 4 and Romans 12, 1 Corinthians 12, looking at what does it mean to be equipped for the work of the ministry. And I think it's been a great series. I hope it's been challenging for you as it's been for me. I know I have personally been quite challenged in some of these respects, that just because, I'm up on stage and I'm preaching on a regular basis does not mean that I'm being employed through the gifts that God has given me to the full extent. And so, it has been challenging for me. So this past Sunday was really focused on this idea of commissioning, what it looks like to be commissioned for the work of God. And we talked about unity. We talked about being connected and a couple other subjects and topics in the midst of that. But really the focus this past Sunday was in taking action, in doing something about this. This whole series, we've talked about moving from being a consumer to being a contributor, from sitting in the, on the sidelines to getting involved in the game and being used by God to do what he's equipped us to do. That's really what Sunday sermon was all about. I hope you have taken stock of your giftings. You've asked God to reveal to you that which he has gifted you, the grace to which he's bestowed to you, whatever those gifts look like. I hope that you're using them for his kingdom, for his glory, for the advancement of the gospel. That's the whole point. The goal of this series was certainly absolutely not to make people feel guilty or to pressure them into doing something within the church. Some of you're going to be gifted in ways that simply do not fit what we're doing here, or it does fit, but it's not where God's calling you. So please don't hear what we're saying as, well, you need to get plugged into Antrim. This is just one big push to get you to do more. That's definitely not what it was. You might be doing enough. Some of you, honestly, you're probably doing too much, and you need to dial it back to that which God has called you to do. But really, what the big push of this sermon series, we could have come at this from so many different angles, but I really felt like God was leading us to encourage those who aren't engaged. There's even at Antrim, we have a decent number of people, I would say probably, that are not engaged in the work God has called them to. And some of you, you're already serving in places, but you've maybe acknowledged that's not where God's gifted you, and that's not where God's calling you. And so maybe some of you need to step away from wherever you're serving. You need to hand that ministry off to someone, train somebody else up, and release them in the ministry that you're currently in, because God's calling you elsewhere. He's directing your attention and your efforts somewhere else. And if he is, be faithful in that. Just say yes. A big part of what we talked about this past Sunday was just giving God your yes. It's awesome. It can be really great when God gives us a clear plan, like we know exactly what he's leading us into and we know exactly where he wants us to go. But there's some times where he's not going to reveal that to us. He wants us to obediently say yes before he'll reveal the whole plan or even just the next step. He simply wants us to follow him in obedience and trust him. For some of us, that's the journey we're on. God's leading us in a path of trust, and he's asking us to put our trust and our hope in him, not to have all the answers, not to have it all figured out, but simply to be willing to follow him, be willing to go wherever he would go. I think this past Sunday, I said it in the second service, how in the Sunday school hour that I was chatting with one of the Sunday school classes, and I feel like God was really speaking something about this reality that you saw. Kelly and Kiara ran up to me on Sunday, and they were standing with me, and neither one of them want to be up on stage by themselves. But wherever the Father is, there's a level of comfort. There's a level of courage and boldness that they can enter into simply because they're with Dad. They're with the Father, and that was a picture for many of us. I hope that sticks with you. It's going to stick with me for a long time. That meant a lot to me in that moment, just thinking of that. And wherever God calls us, he's there. And so we just need to run to his arms and just stand with him. And that boldness that even my own children have at 8 and 5 years old, as long as they're standing with Dad, that doesn't matter. You all can look at them. You all can be there. We had a couple hundred people there on Sunday. That didn't matter to them, because they were with their Father. And so wherever God's calling you to, he's going to be there with you. He's not sending you out without his presence, without his Holy Spirit within you. And so go with confidence, go in boldness to what God has called you to. Engage that. Don't let Satan talk you out of it. I'm sure by now some of you have already been talked out of what God was speaking on Sunday. Satan's tried to convince you that it was just emotionalism, it was just a big hype. You just reacted to the moment, and he's trying to get you to question. I mean, look back all the way back to the garden, and what does Satan say to Eve? Did God really say that? Did God really say that? And my guess would be he's using the same tactic today with some of you. He's trying to get you to question, did God really speak that on Sunday, or was that just a moment? Was that just were you just hyped up in that moment? Some of you, God really spoke to you, and He's really encouraging you to. He's drawing you in, and there's beauty in that. Anybody who's been used by God to glorify Him, to magnify Him, to advance His kingdom, it's awesome. It's exhausting at times. It's trying. It will break you at times, but it is beautiful to be used by Him, especially in areas where He's gifted us. When we're full of the Holy Spirit and we're moving in the Spirit's empowerment, it is just an amazing thing to be a part of. And if you don't know what that's like, you need to give God your yes. He wants to take you into new territory. He wants to do some awesome things in your life. Will it be easy? Absolutely not. My guess is it will not be easy, but that's not what God promises us. He doesn't promise us an easy life. Matter of fact, He promises us trials, but He says in the midst of that, He'll be there, and He will build us up. He'll train us up. He will develop us in the middle of that, and that's a beautiful thing. So I hope that if you felt the Spirit's prompting, that you were willing to come up and be prayed over. If not, if you knew that God was calling you to do that and you just didn't do it, whether it was fear, whether it was hesitation, whatever reason, it's okay. We still have elders. They'll still pray over you. They'd be happy to, whether it's elders or prayer team or just people that that are spiritual influences in your life, just ask them to lay hands on you and pray over you and commission you in that. You can do it right now in your home. I mean, it's not something that needs to have any kind of hype or emotionalism to it. Or if you feel like, hey, God's leading you to have some of the church leaders pray over you, then let us know. And whether that's Wednesday night, Sunday morning, whatever we can do, we'll do that. And we'll help you give God your yes in that. So I was really encouraged. I was really pleased with knowing that we were where the Spirit was on Sunday, both first service and second service. There was a lot of people that responded to the commissioning call there. That we had lines both times. We had people waiting to be prayed over. What an amazing thing! God is moving at Antrim, and it is a beautiful and humbling thing to be a part of. To know that God, He's got His hand on us, and He's moving us in a direction, and He's we're joining Him in what He's doing. We're not just throwing parties and having Sunday morning services and just saying, okay, God bless this thing that we're doing, but we're trying to hear from Him. We're trying to follow God in what He's doing, and He's doing some cool stuff, and I'm very excited about it. I hope you are as well. This coming Sunday, we have Baptism Sunday happening. We have a handful of people getting baptized, and I'm super pumped about that. That's why we have a combined service. So I just want to let you know about the combined service. It is happening this coming Sunday from 9 o'clock to about 9:45. We have our Sunday school hour happening, and then at 10:15, our combined service will kick off. And like I said, it's Baptism Sunday. So we'll talk a little bit about baptism, and then we'll get to see a handful of people be baptized. And it's going to be a great time. I love Baptism Sundays. There's so much power. There's a spiritual thing happening when baptisms are taking place. That's a step of faith. If you've never been baptized, let me really encourage you on this. If you're listening to this and you were maybe baptized as an infant, or you were baptized and you're not confident you were saved at the time and you weren't a Christian, baptism is for the believer. And so whether it was infant baptism or before you were saved, when you thought you were, and then you really came to know Christ, and so now you want to get baptized, I would encourage you, take that step of faith. Like we talked about Sunday, to know what to do and not do it is to live in daily disobedience to God. And so I would strongly encourage you, when you feel that prompting, let us know, and we will meet with you. We'll talk with you. We'll counsel you through that. Let you know what baptism is, what we do, what our thoughts are on that, what we see biblically as far as baptism, and we'll get you plugged into the next Baptism Sunday. So I don't want to throw it out there right now, but if you need baptized, let us know. We could even get you in Sunday. I know Pastor Casey might punch me for that, but we might still be able to get you in. All right. But it's going to be a great time. And it is one of those acts of obedience. We are commanded to be saved and be baptized. And so baptism always follows salvation. It can't come before. It always comes after salvation. So like I said, if you haven't been baptized, take that step of faith. Don't live in daily disobedience, and take that journey with us into baptism. It is a beautiful moment. It's a great opportunity to invite people in your family or in your social circles who, maybe they're not churched, or maybe it's been a long time since they've been in church. Baptism is a great time to bring them in. People come to those things. It's a great witnessing opportunity. So I pray that you will take advantage of that and take that step of faith. I'm excited for those that are getting baptized this coming Sunday, hear their testimony, hear what God's done in their life. It's always so exciting to see God transforming lives. And he's still in the business of that, still in the business of redeeming people and saving people and bringing them into this new life. And so I pray that God continues to speak to you this week. I pray whatever he spoke on Sunday for some of you, that you continue to be faithful in that you make commitments and you share that with people. Share what God did, because if not, it's just so easy to go back on those things. It's so easy to question it later. So share it with trusted people if God spoke to you, and have them hold you accountable to taking steps, faith-filled risks and steps in the midst of that. God bless you all. Hope to see you Sunday. Like I said, 9:00 for Sunday school, 10:15 for our combined service. And then the week after, we kick off our new series in Galatians. Really excited. Love the book of Galatians. And I hope that you're ready to dive into. We're going to go back to doing straight expository preaching again. I'm excited. I love expository series. And we're just going to really dig into the book of Galatians. And that will take us all the way up to Easter. Can you believe that? By the time we finish our next series, it will be Easter Sunday. So pumped for what God's doing. So excited for what he did in many lives this past Sunday. And he's going to continue to show up and show off. When we depend on him, when we come to our gatherings with expectation, God is going to continue to show us that he is the powerful and living God. And I'm excited to see what he's going to do next. So God bless you all, and hope to see you Sunday.